Hi, welcome to the first session of this 24 Yang Style short form class. In this class, we will learn the first 11 forms. Today, in this session, we will begin with warm-ups, and then from there we're going to move on to the Tai Chi walk and learning the first movement of the 24 form called Commencement. Let's get started. So before we begin with the warm-ups, let's just look at how we're standing. Make sure that you're standing about shoulder width apart. Now, how did you determine shoulder width apart? Well, make sure that if you look down the side of your body where your hips and shoulders are, that they're in a line with the side of your foot. So if you're too wide, you're going to notice that the energy is going to stop in your hip. And if it's too narrow, you're going to have trouble with your knees. So shoulder width apart and making sure your feet are parallel. Your toes and knees are in alignment. So you never want your toe going in a different direction than your knee. Then you twist on your knee. And we're going to sink our weight down. And when you sink your weight down, you're going to imagine that you're sitting on top of a high stool or exercise ball. And what happens when you do that is that your pelvis will tilt forward slightly. So we're sinking into our stance. We want to feel rooted to the earth. And at the same time, we want to feel suspended from above. We'll go over some of those principles as we start the form. Right now, we're going to do some warm-up, and we're going to start by doing some gentle rotations. We'll start with our neck, and we're going to just drop down our head, and we're going to rotate over to the right side and look back and up. And then rotate over to the left side and look back and up. And we'll do this 3 times. Looking back and up, and trying to keep those shoulders down and relaxed. And if you're feeling any pain, remember, stop and adjust. So in Tai Chi, there's no place for that old adage, no pain, no gain. In Tai Chi, if you're feeling pain, it's your body's way of telling you to stop. Excellent. We're going to bring up our hands, and we're going to rotate our wrists. And then just gentle rotations with our wrists. And we can go 6 times in both directions. So whenever we do something in one direction, we always turn and do it in the other direction. Excellent. Just slow, gentle rotations. And then from our elbows, rotating. And again, 6 times in one direction, and going back 6 times in the other direction. Excellent. And then we're just going to swing our forearm. There we go. Just feeling rooted down. And then just swinging our arms. And just a nice little bounce as you're swinging your arms forward. We're just trying to free our body of the tension so that we go into the form with no unnecessary tension in our mind or our muscles. So just letting it go loose. Excellent. And then we're going to just rotate our hips. Just gentle rotations of the hips. And again, you can do it in one direction. And then rotate and do it in the other direction. Great. And then we're going to rotate our knees. So what we're going to do is we're going to sink down on one leg. Whenever you're sinking on one leg, make sure that you're sinking straight down into the earth, picking up your other leg. And then you can bring it up high and then just rotate from the knee down in both directions. Now, if you need to hold on to a chair or something to help, make sure you keep your balance, sinking down, and then the same on the other side, rotating that knee. And both directions. Keeping your head up. You always want to keep your structural alignment. Thinking back to the introduction when I talked about structural alignment. And sinking down. And again on the other side. And then rotating. You could always do it lower down if it's easier for your balance. And both directions. And you can point the toe. You can do it on the ground. Heel toe, heel toe. I do this first thing in the morning when I wake up. my ankles take a bit of a beating because I have flat feet. So there we go. And then on the other side. And again, you can rotate both directions. And then up and down. And you can do it on the ground, heel toe. Great. Okay. Then we're going to, again, shoulder width apart, and we're just going to shake, just like we're splashing water on our body, just letting your hands go loose. And you can turn when you're doing this. Now we're turning with our waist. Make sure you don't turn so far that you pull on your knee. So just go as far as you're comfortable, shaking and splashing. Your arms can go really loose. And you're giving your internal organs a bit of massage. If you put your fists in the small of your back, give your kidney a rub as you're turning and shaking. Excellent. And now we're going to swing our arms. We're going to swing our arms, letting them go loose side to side. And as we're doing that, we're transferring our weight from side to side. So at this time, my left arm is swinging over to the right side. My weight's on the right. And then I switch over, switching the weight from side to side as I'm turning with the waist again. Just letting the arms go loose. Keeping rooted on the ground, feet parallel, head upright. Excellent. Now you can make fists and you can hit right under your collarbone as you're turning, just lightly. There we go, just a boost for your immune system. And then you can also go on top of your shoulder, just helping loosen that tension in your shoulder as you're turning. Again, your weight is going from side to side as you're turning. Excellent. And then we'll do another one where we're going to come up on our heel. So we're on our toe as we're turning to the left with our right hand. And then let that arm swing down just to the small of your back. So rising up on the heel, so you're on your toe as you're turning. Arms going high. Palms facing in. Excellent. And then we'll just do a few stretches before we begin with the Tai Chi walk. So we're just going to lock our fingers and we're going to push up. And when we get up above our head, we can go up on the balls of our feet. A really good stretch up. And then open up and then scoop all the way down. Now just go down as far as you're comfortable. Make sure your knees don't go over your toes. Scooping back up. And we'll do this 3 times. On the balls of your feet, if you're comfortable with that. And opening up, scooping down to earth. Breathing in. And as you're pushing out, you can exhale. Breathing in. Exhale as you're coming down. And in. We'll do it one more time. Coming up. Excellent. Okay, now we're ready to start learning the Tai Chi walk. Okay, let's move into learning the Tai Chi walk. I'm just going to explain first how your feet will be positioned and at the same time your hips and waist. So what we're going to do is we're going to start on the right side. So I'm going to pivot my right foot out at a 45-degree angle, 45 to 30-degree angle out from the other foot. Okay, and then I'm going to sink my weight down. Now because this foot, my right foot, is on an angle, you'll notice that my knee and toe and my nose are all in alignment with my right foot at this time. Okay, and what we're going to do with the walk is we're going to step out heel first. And so we're going to imagine sweeping out with our other leg, heel first. So we're going to imagine sweeping out, heel first, and then drop our toe down. Now, really important to remember that when we step out, we always step out straight ahead. So we step out straight ahead, but not right in front. Otherwise, you'll notice that we have this very, very narrow base, and all the energy is going to stop in our hips. So that's why I say, imagine that you're sweeping out. Some people actually do sweep out every time, and then place your foot down, and then we're going to transfer the weight and rotate to the front. Okay, so what's happening is our weight's going from the back. At this point, all our weight's in the back, and we're going to rotate slowly to the front, and our weight is shifting. Majority of our weight is shifting to the front. So 70% is at the front, 30 is at the back. Now you'll notice my back foot is still rooted to the ground. Really important. Front foot, straight ahead, not off to the side like this, because then it'll be going in a different direction than our knee. So make sure that it's aligned with your knee, and you should be able to see your toe. So you don't want to be like this with your knee overextending. Otherwise, all the energy is going to end in your knee, and your knee is going to start to give you problems. So make sure that you can always see your toe. Now, also, I'm not leaning forward, not leaning back. I'm not in the middle. I'm more forward with my weight, but I'm still structurally aligned. So remember, the structural alignment's always important. So we're just going to do this for a minute, just shifting from front to back. Now you can put your hands right on your chin. Remember, just a few finger widths below your belly button. And as you're doing that transition from side to side, you can feel how the waist is turning as you're rotating to the front. And the back leg too. You want to make sure that that knee is not overextending at the back either. So shifting from back to front. Now we're going to bring the walk into this. Gets a little trick here. Okay, so we sweep out, remember, heel down. There we go. Now I'm going to demonstrate the walk moving forward. Okay, I'm going forward now. I'm going to sweep out left. You'll notice I'm on an angle to the right, and then my weight's coming forward as I'm shifting my waist, rotating with my waist. Weight back. And I'm trying to stay level when I'm doing this, no bobbing up and down. Remember, the form is flowing and smooth and continuous. So no stopping and starting. So remember, you're pivoting that foot out. Then all your weight's on the right now. And then you step out left and then slowly rotating to the left. Now weight goes back to the right. So you can pivot out the left foot. Sink your weight on the left. Make sure you're rooted down, right and down into the ground, evenly distributing your weight. And then shift your weight to the front. Weight back. Kick out that right foot. Sinking your weight on the right, stepping out left. And you're rotating to the front. Remember, always step out straight ahead, making sure you're rooting that back leg. Back leg needs to be rooted. Kicking out the left. Sweeping out, or making sure you're stepping out, not directly ahead. And the foot is facing front. Knee is not overextending. And back. Shifting to the front. Great. Okay, now I'm going to do the walk from the back. I'm putting my hands on my hips, sinking my weight on the right side. My right foot is on a 45-degree angle. And I'm going to sweep out with the left. Heel down, heel first, plant your foot down, and then rotate your weight to the front. weight back, kick out that left foot. All my weight's on the left. Remember, you can step in if you need to root yourself. Step out right, and then rotate your weight and transfer your weight to the right side. Weight back. Kick out the right foot. Step out left. Remember, you're stepping out shoulder width apart. If I was to straighten my back foot and slide my front foot back, you'd see that there I'm at about a shoulder width apart. So if I straighten this foot, slide back my front, there I am. I'm at my shoulder width apart. So sweeping out, transferring the weight, rotating to the front. Weight back. So this is the walk we take with us into the form. Either we're walking forward in the form or back. So this helps prepare you for the second form, the second movement in the form, called Part the Wild Horse's Mane. And you can just practice this at home, just trying to keep level and smooth as you're walking. Okay, now we're going to move on to the movement, the first movement of the 24 form, and you'll hear it being referred to as commencement or beginning. Part of commencement and beginning is the preparation. And throughout this class, you'll hear me speak of the principles of Tai Chi or the essentials. And at the beginning here, when we're talking about preparing for the form, this is when we think of some of those principles that we will be taking with us into the form. So first of all, we want to make sure that we have that feeling of being suspended above. So like we're being pulled at the top of our head, like you can imagine like from a sky hook pulling us up. So our body is being pulled upwards at the same time we're rooting into the ground. So there's that pull for our spine. So we're rooting down and we're sinking our weight, talking about sinking down so that our pelvis will tuck in slightly and we keep that nice natural curve to our back, that natural curvature of our spine. Okay, so we don't want to be thrust back like this or forward like this. So just if you're sinking your weight, you'll tuck in slightly and you'll keep that structural alignment. And when you're having that feeling of being suspended from above, your chin will tuck in slightly. Okay, and we always want to keep our shoulders relaxed and down. We're going to have our tongue on the roof of our mouth, connecting the meridians. And we're relaxed and ready for the form. Okay, so in commencement, what happens is that we're going to put our weight on our right foot and sink down on the right. So remember, when we're sinking on one side, we're not sitting into our hips, sinking straight down into the ground. And we're going to pick up our left foot and toes going to go down shoulder width apart. So sinking down shoulder width apart. Excellent. There we are. Now we're ready to start. We're going to imagine that there's strings on our wrists pulling our arms up. And when our arms are coming up, our shoulders are going to go down. We're going to come up too because we've sunk our weight. We're going to come up as our arms come up, not locking our knees, shoulders down, hands come out when we get up, shoulder height. Then we're going to drop like there's strings on our elbows, dropping our arms back down into place and sinking back down. So from here, we sink, step out shoulder width apart, sink again. Arms are coming up, shoulders are going down. Don't lock your knees. And arms are being pulled back down into place. Commencement. 24 of the 24 form. Okay, we'll just do that a few times. And remembering, you want to have spaces too in your body when you start. So you don't want to be tight. You don't want to wear clothing that's, tight and restrictive. So you just want to make sure that there's spaces under your arm, like there's an egg there. If it was too tight, it would break. If it was too wide, it would fall. So just spaces between your fingers, under your arms. Okay, and sinking down into that stance, stepping out with your left foot, sinking your weight again. And then arms being pulled up, shoulders are going down, hands come out, and then sinking back down into their stance. as your arms are coming down. Elbows are being pulled back into place. That's commencement. From here, I'm just going to show you the beginning of a transitional move to take us into the next form called Part the Wild Horse's Mane. So after our hands come down, what we're going to do is we're going to turn our waist to the right, and right hand's going to come on top and left's underneath. So it's our waist that's taking our hands over to the right side, right hand's high, left's underneath. We're holding the ball. So our palms are aligned. We don't have a big ball that we're holding. If it's too big, you can see what happens is my elbows go up. And one of the principles is always to drop the shoulders in order to drop the elbows in order to keep the shoulders relaxed and down. So we're holding the ball on the right. Right hand's high, left is low. If I was to say in the form later, lots of times we hold the ball. If I say hold the ball left, then it would be opposite of that. We turn our waist to the left. The left hand would be high and the right would be underneath. Palms aligned. In this case, the transitional move, beginning of it, is to hold the ball on the right. Right hand's high, left's underneath. Okay, let's go through commencement and we'll add in that transitional move. Sinking your weight on the right, stepping out with your left toe, and then sinking your weight. Strings pulling up your arms, shoulders going down, hands come out, and then sink back down into place. Sink as far as you're comfortable. Now, right hand, I'm going to turn my waist to the right. Right hand comes high, left's underneath. So you'll see when I turn my waist, my body also turns. So when one part moves, all parts move. One more time. Sinking on the right, stepping shoulder width apart, with your left toe going down first, sinking. You'll notice we're double weighted here. This is the only time in the form, at the very beginning and the end, that we're double weighted, and then sinking back down. Right hand's coming high, left comes underneath, hold the ball right. And then next time, we'll continue that transition into the next form. At the end of each session, we will do a closure. And what we're going to do is we're just going to step out, shoulder width apart, and we're going to just bringing our hands, palms out, up as we're breathing in, just taking in all the positive energy around you from the earth, and then hands come in front, and as your hands are coming down in front of your body, you exhale, sinking down. So breathing in, taking all that stagnant energy, that chi energy, through the bottom of your feet into the earth. And 3 times. One more time. Excellent. We're going to show our fists pointing out. I'm right-handed, so it's my right fist that's pointing out. Left hand is against the fist. And then I'm coming in peace and gratitude, showing I have no weapons with me. And I'm going to bow as I turn my fist. Thank you. We will see you for the next session, where we will learn Part the Wild Horse's Mane and White Crane Spreads its Wings.